Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode of the Midnight Sesh. My name is Moises,
I'm fucking Sladro.
and welcome to the podcast, guys. This is the very first episode. I'm gonna pass it over to Pedro so he can kind of explain what we got going on here.
Honestly, bro, this podcast kind of took us a little bit to start, but we're just gonna go with the flow here, go with the vibes, go with what we got, with trial and error type of stuff is how we're gonna do it here. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun while we're here. Just roll up some blunts while we're here, talk about life, talk about experiences, just things that that we might like to just bring up and talk about. It's our things, and we want to bring this to you guys. It's what we got going on. So right now, my guy Moy is just playing with his jar, looking at the weed that he rolled. Tell us what you got there, Moy.
Okay, so before I actually start, I just want everyone to know the whole reason why we kind of have it's called, or not why we have, but it's called Midnight Sesh Podcast because what we used to do a whole bunch back in the day, before I don't know if I should say this on record, but before weed was legal
Yeah.
in Washington State, we would just get with our friends and have a good big old sesh, just a smoke sesh,
Yep.
hanging out, just talk about random stuff, have a good laugh. And today we have X's Gift. Why did I pick this one? Honestly, for the name, X's Gift. If you're my ex,
X's
stay that way.
gift.
um,
That kind of reminded me like X's gift. Kind of, I was thinking some kind of like angelic type of thing for some reason. Like, I don't know, X's gift.
funny, because on here it says it promotes focusness, euphoric, and energy.
Ooh.
It's a sativa hybrid, I think, and common
Ooh.
terpenes. Look, this I like this jar because it has a lot of information on it.
Yeah.
I can't say these words. Lots of big words, guys. For whatever reason, there was two. One that said sweet, and then this one that says spicy. The
Ooh.
bud tender who was telling me about it was like, he didn't try any spicy or didn't taste any spiciness in it. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what that's all about.
Yeah.
And right before we actually
Some spicy
continue,
kush.
yeah. Bro, if my mouth catches on fire while we smoking, I'm about to be mad but happy at the same time.
The kush is gonna spark itself.
One thing y'all don't know about me yet is that I freaking love spicy food. Anything spicy, that's my thing. So This is interesting. This is interesting.
We're gonna find out. We're
Um,
gonna see how this shit hit.
But if you're at home and you are around, some kush, some flour, some dabs, whatever you
Mhm.
got to do, just toke it up with us, enjoy
Mhm.
the conversation, and enjoy the sesh.
Roll it up, guys, because that's literally what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll this shit up, and then we're gonna spark that shit up,
I'm,
because
roll-
that's what we're gonna do.
I'm rolling right now. Yeah, I mean, I like to roll blunts. Joints are cool. Backwards are cool. I'm more of a blunt guy. What about you, Pedro?
Yeah, I think blunts definitely, mostly just because when we first started, that was just it. Like a wood, I could do with that. I fuck with it. Burns my throat a little bit, sometimes, but I'll be down for a wood. I don't know how to roll one. I can roll like a pretty decent blunt, but like a wood, if someone rolls it, someone brings it, I'm not gonna say no to it.
He's not gonna
Mhm.
hesitate. He is hitting that.
Even not. But yeah, like blunts is just what we started with. That's what I'm used to. I'm about to hit that shit. And a lot of the times we can just go back to back on those shits sometimes, So it's like, keep them coming sometimes.
Sometimes, all the time, all the time.
My guy Moy,
Yo.
that guy, it don't matter, bro. We could be just high off our minds and he's still down for another one. It don't even matter.
We've had some moments, guys. We've had some moments. I
And-
will say I've never personally, actually, I lied. I'm starting to cap. There's this one time where I was just so gone that I ended up falling asleep right on my couch just immediately.
God damn.
But other than that, I have a pretty high tolerance. Around the time that I started my current job, I met a friend. His name was
Mhm.
Benson, and he got me really into dabs.
Yeah.
And if you have taken dabs before, you know that once you take them and you like them and you want to continue taking them, your tolerance goes through the roof.
Yep.
And it's hard to go back down. So once your tolerance is up there, yeah, it's hard to go back down. So cherish your tolerance where it's at now. If you have a low tolerance, if you have a middle tolerance, honestly, if it's up to me, I will say that my favorite tolerance throughout the times was my low tolerance because you could
Yeah.
just smoke like half a little, blunt, and you'll be good for like 8 hours,
Yep.
But that's before everything was legal and they had to like, um, what's the word I'm looking for?
What is the word you're looking for?
I just had a
What is
brain
he
fart.
looking
I had a
for?
brain fart, dog. Oh, regulate. You know when the
Okay,
the
okay.
state had it regulate when they legalized and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think they did something to the Kush because back then we used to be high for about like 8 hours off of like one blunt, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you stay high for like 45 minutes off of one.
Honestly, I feel like that's true because when we were younger, weed was hitting, and now like the weed still hits, but back then, my being high on Kush made me feel like way different. Maybe it's just because we were young and we were just starting off, but I don't know. Like, what do you think that like it's just we're just getting used to it. We're just growing up, and the Kush is just getting, or like how you're saying, our whole tolerance is just getting up, and we're just this weed just can't keep up no more. We're gonna have to hit something harder later on, or what?
That's all you. I'll let you can have that. I'm gonna stick to the cannabis. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they did. I don't know if it was the regulations or what, or with like now that they have to follow certain laws and whatnot. Might have been that, or maybe it's not. And we were just smoking things that were laced back in the day. I'm not sure.
We were being sold what was called weed as kids, and whatever we're buying now is real weed.
There's cannabis. We adults now. We gotta smoke with our pinkies up.
Yeah, guys, but I mean, just roll up. We got about like maybe two that we're rolling up right now. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes we might go for more, either during this podcast or maybe even after, and just have a good time with us, guys. Like literally was what we're here for. We want you to vibe with us. If you got some friends with you, you got your by yourself, and you just want some company while you're rolling up, this is the time right now.
Go ahead and just start rolling that.
just just get on it and like listen to us, man. Like we're just gonna be talking about the dumbest shit, and honestly, it's probably gonna get dumber as we get higher.
I mean, not always, but yeah.
Literally. So I'll just give you guys like a little background. Me and More are just some really cool friends since like fourth grade, and we just wanted to start this podcast and just chill with people, share our vibes, share what we want to talk about, and all that kind of stuff. And you guys are all welcome to bring your friends here, bring everybody. That's what we're here for.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much, yeah.
This weed is really sticky, by the way.
So I went to go buy some weed too. Mine was called like I couldn't even really pronounce it, but it's called like Adacab or something like that, or Adacac, Adakak, I think, or Kab. I don't really know, but like that name just kind of sounded weird to me when I saw it, and like how I said earlier, like off the podcast, like when I looked at it, like I was like, like that one looks pretty good compared to all the other ones, and for like the price, it wasn't bad. I just got like a regular eighth, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll go with that one because the other ones look pretty good, and there was ones that they either have on display, and then like you go up and they don't really have it anymore. So that was like some of the ones, but this one I just kind of got it for the name just because it sounded weird, like it sounded foreign to me.
Hmm.
So I was like, add that cab, like that kind of sounds like, I mean, like to me, Middle Eastern type of thing, like kind of like Middle East, like if this was grown somewhere in the Middle East and it just came over here or something like that, something that's just like foreign is like what kind of came to my mind when I first like saw the name.
Is that a sativa or indica?
It said it was a sativa,
Okay.
like a dominant sativa. So yeah, but it's from Columbia River Reserve. That's what it
Ooh.
says on there.
Okay.
But also just like the little color that they have on here, the little what's it called, label that they have on there was pretty nice. So that's kind of like another thing that caught my eye. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's what we got going on. That's that's pretty much just like what I picked it out for. It was pretty cool.
My hands are sticky right now, y'all.
Guys, this man is rolling up. Like he's got like a really big nug, and then he's got like this other one that he's just been, separating out the kush, crumbling it all up, getting it ready to get rolled up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean his looks pretty. Let me see it. Let me see this shit. Yeah, I fuck with it. It looks very crystally and all that kind of stuff. The good type of weed that you wanna hit. And I mean, I'm kind of cracking a little piece of it. If you kind of like hear that little sound, that's like the little nugs breaking. So I mean, that sounds thicker to me, y'all. But yeah, wait, let me smell it. Yeah, that smells like weed.
Good. I can smell it from here.
Yeah, but I mean, that looks good, man. I think we're about to see how it hits.
Oh, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit you back. Watch.
So, bro, let me just talk to you about like something that happened to me at work the other day. Like if you like maybe 2 days ago. So we work our 9 to 5s or whatever. I'm like a delivery driver. I won't say for who or for what, but I was just driving and I was dropping off a package. It's not kind of not like a kind of not too much of a funny story, but I kind of find it a little bit funny at the end. But I was dropping off a package at a store, and there's like a dog parked in the driveway, and it's like a big Rottweiler, and that thing's like "Roar, roar, 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 roar," just barking at me through the window, bro. And I'm just like, oh goddamn, a dog, like I seen it through the window, like it's not the first time a big dog has barked through me or barked at me through a car window, and it was like in a big old like I would say like a Ford truck, like a brown one with like the 3-row seating and stuff like that. And that was just it was in like the driver's seat. And so I go drop off the package. I'm walking back to my van because I parked the van across the street because there was no parking in there. And the dog just sees me again. It's just like, I was already expecting him to start barking at me. He's like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr." And then like I'm not even like very close to my van yet, but all of a sudden I hear a door open.
You telling me a dog opened a car door?
Yes, bro.
That's
The
crazy.
door fucking open. I'm guessing it's one of those like door handles where you can just like pull open.
Oh, okay.
And I'm guessing his paw was stuck in there.
Yeah.
And he like yanked it out like without knowing. But the door opened, and at the same time, like I was like in my head I was like, fuck, I'm about to get chased from a dog for the first time in my life. Like that shit's gonna come bite my leg any second. But the dog's all barking. And I think he got scared that the door opened because at the same time the door was opening, the dog was about to fall, but he like caught himself. Like his reflex were pretty quick, and the dog got scared and stopped barking and just stayed in the car because the door opened. And I was like, God damn, like
He was spooked.
yeah, that man was spooked. And now that I'm thinking about it, that dog was really all bark.
No bite.
he could have came out and just bit me, but that car like the second the door opened, quiet as hell.
This is a story for all you hating ass people online that is all bark, and then you see them in person, they no bite.
Yeah, but that shit just had me dead. Like that's literally thought that was gonna be like the first dog to come bite me, but nah, that dog was just barking just to bark.
Okay, let me tell you this, or let me ask you this.
All right.
Are you scared of dogs?
I'm not scared of dogs.
That was hesitation.
Nah. I'm not scared of dogs, but I mean, like, if a dog came up and was like, trying to be fierce, I mean, was really looked like it was gonna bite me, then yes, I'm gonna be scared of the dog.
Funny story about that is that, a funny thing about that is that when I was about, how old was that? Maybe in like 5th grade, so I was like 12 or so.
Yeah.
I actually had a dog, kind of like a Rottweiler, that came up to me and just bit me on the leg. It wasn't nothing hard or nothing, but like so here's the story. We were walking, we were living in Auburn, Lee Hill Homes, if you know where that's at. Shout out to Lee Hill Homes, that's where I grew up. We were just yeah, the hill. We were just walking past that park. You remember that park that was like right in front of the house that had the basketball court right next to it?
Yeah.
So we were walking in front of that, okay, and I was just like playing with my sister's phone, and she had like a little piggy key chain thing connected to her phone, and it fell. And so then I looked down, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab this, but at the same time, there was an owner who lived right in front of that park with his dog out, and for whatever reason,
Yeah.
when I went down to grab that piggy keychain, the dog just ran up on me and just bit my leg. And I was just like,
God
yo,
damn.
there's a dog. And I didn't know what to do. And then finally the owner came up and did his thing and took the dog off and was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then it didn't really hurt. So I was like, oh, yeah, you're good. But in my mind, I was like, damn.
He got rabies.
Yeah, man. And I was like, this dog just like could have killed me.
God damn.
But yeah, I got bit by a dog. But I'm still not scared of dogs, yo. I've seen my fair share of dogs fighting dogs. I'm talking about big dogs. There's one time I saw, we were in California,
Yeah.
and where we were staying at, it was my stepdad's family, and I think they owned two pit bulls,
Yeah.
and these are huge, bro. They're big, and he was walking him like late at night. It was maybe like 8 or 9, and then for whatever reason, everyone was just outside in front of the house talking.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, the next door neighbor, who has like a small little like Maltese Shih Tzu, comes out, and that little dog. If you guys don't know about like little dogs, they're ruthless. Like they're more ruthless than big dogs.
Yeah.
And he ran up, and this pit bull, bro, just grabbed it by the neck, just his full on jaw on this little dog's neck, and all you can hear is just the little dog just crying because it was like being eaten alive by this pit bull, bro. And then like it literally took everybody, and then to like get this dog off of the little dog until they
Damn.
finally brought over like a hose and sprayed water in
Yeah.
its nose to loosen up the jaw to get the other dog off it.
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy to me, man.
So how was that experience watching that little dog just get?
It was crazy. So I was holding my first nephew, Josh, and he
Yeah.
was still like a little baby.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a long time ago now that I'm thinking about it. That little man was like 8 now. So he was maybe 1 year old.
Okay. Okay.
And I was holding him, and when that all happened, I was like kind of panicking because no one really doing nothing.
Mhm.
But it's because they see a big pit bull, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what do you expect? But then I was over here like, well, no one's going to do nothing. I got to try to do something.
Yeah.
So I tried to get in there, but then the owner kind of pushed me back because, he knows his dog and whatnot.
Mhm.
So I at least try to save the small dog, but
Mhm.
I did not succeed because that was a big dog.
Poor little dog, man.
Yeah.
At least it's okay, right?
I mean, yeah, he was good. I don't know how they are now, but
He alive.
I'm assuming so.
Don't worry, guys. He's alive. That's crazy. I don't think I have any like crazy dog stories like that. Like I don't think I've ever seen any dogs really go berserk or attack anybody besides maybe like on video from like Facebook or YouTube. But like personally, I've never seen that. But like I feel like to hear that and experience it would be like crazy, like just because I've seen so many friendly dogs, it's hard to believe that you would see, like, it's not hard to believe, but also kind of like, at the same time, it kind of is that a dog would just attack somebody. Because, usually you just see dogs being dogs and they're just friendly and like not biting. They're just playing with people.
Nah, he lying. All dogs bite.
All dogs bite. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, like my experience, I don't think I ever had anything crazy like with a dog or anything like that. Like the only thing I can think of is just cats, man. Like cats will,
Cats.
like those things just like scratch the fuck out of
Yeah,
you.
cats are the devil sometimes.
I believe it. That's what they got. When I was a kid, I believed it. I was like, bro, these things have pointy ears. The devil has like pointy horns. Cats are the devils.
That's funny. I've never really wanted cats until recently, where I was just like, you know what? A cat, like an indoor animal, like a cat, would be cool to have, just because. I don't know. It kind of makes it feel less lonely, I guess.
How about like a hamster or
No,
a
I want
ferret?
something. No, I want something. Obviously, like a dog would be nice, and I obviously want a dog.
Yeah.
But having it like a cat as well,
Yeah.
it's just because like cats are just a different level of animals. They're real life. Like they know that they're like their own like owner, I guess you could
Yeah.
say, in a sense, because
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck about their actual owners. Like they're cats. If that cat does not want to be there, guess what? It's not gonna be there.
It's crazy because that just makes me think of this video I watched literally about, it was on TikTok, about this owner, and she had her camera running just in the background, and her dog and her cat were playing, and the cat was on the table, and on the table, there was a lit candle, and the dog was just like chasing the cat, and the cat's tail was like really fluffy and furry, and the cat's not paying attention, and all of a sudden the cat's tail catches on fire, and the owner's just walking downstairs and then walking back upstairs, not noticing that the cat is on fire, and then the cat and the dog are literally just staring at the fire on the cat's tail, and the cat's just like staring at it like just blank at it like what's going on, and the dog has like the face of like what should I do? What should I do? And in the comments, I just found like a section that's saying like a comment that was like pretending to be the dog. The dog was saying like, "Should I get mom and dad?" And then the cat's like saying like, "Nah, just let it do its thing."
Those are cats for you, man.
I believe it, man. Like cats are crazy, but yeah, I mean, I think having a cat, I'd be down for that, for an experience. That's a cat experience.
I used to have cats when I was younger, when I used to live in Auburn.
Yeah.
It was cool. Cats are cool. I mean, there was this one time that we had a cat.
Yeah.
And it had little kittens, right? But there was a lot of them, and I think my mom just didn't know how to, get rid of them and whatnot, or sell them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think, where did we go? All I remember is that we started driving somewhere, and one of the kittens ended up at like the bottom of her feet while she was driving.
Yeah.
And that she was just like not having it because there's a little kitten bothering her feet while she's trying to drive.
Yeah.
And so then she finally just pulled over and was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be a free cat." So she just opened the door and just let it go. And then the other kittens, I don't remember where we dropped them off, but we dropped them off somewhere.
I remember we used to live in these apartments, and there was like a what we thought was a stray cat, and there was also some neighbors nearby that lived with us. Me, my brother, my sister Leslie, and Alejandro were like friends with, and we kind of just took care of the cat. Like sometimes the cat would come to our house, and sometimes the cat would come to their house, and we would just feed it or play with it, and the cat knew that that both of us would just do that kind of stuff for it. So I mean, that's like the only closest thing I've had to an experience of having a cat. I don't think I've ever had any other cats, except maybe this one other time where me and my cousin Jose found a kitten here in this neighborhood. And what's crazy about the story is too, like, we found it, we put it in the garage, and I told my cousin Jose, because me and my sister had to go to the store to get something, and I told my cousin Jose, okay, stay downstairs in the garage with the cat to make sure that it doesn't jump out, because the cat, even though it was a kitten and the box was like kind of big, the cat was still able to climb out of it. And he's like, okay, I'll do that. And so basically we leave to the store, and I come back to the garage and see what he's doing, and then I see that he's not even downstairs in the garage. I look in the box, the cat is gone, bro. The cat is gone. In the garage, like before that, like, they really fixed it up, you could go underneath the house. And I was like, bro, the cat's underneath the house, like it's too dark to go in there, we have no lights to get in there. And I was like, it's not coming out. So what we ended up doing is we ended up leaving the garage door open, because what I was thinking is, like, if I leave the door open, the cat's gonna come out, the cat's gonna find its way outside the house and walk outside. And the cat never did, because then what happened is my mom closed the garage, and for some reason that same day she walked downstairs to the garage, and she knew there was a cat in the house. She's like, who brought this cat inside? And we're just like, I was like, how the heck does she know there's a cat? Because the cat should be under the house. And I guess she might have seen the cat and, kicked it out after that. But that's probably like the only nearest experience I have to even having a cat. And I wasn't even planning on keeping that little kitten that time.
Damn, well, now you know. Your mom don't like cats.
My parents don't like cats. Yeah, my mom's like that, but it's whatever, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, Moy just finished, what? You just finished rolling up the first one?
The first blunt. I'm rolling up the second one, see what we get from there. This weed is really sticky, so my hands are, like, stuck together. And I gotta clean them off.
Hey, honestly, bro, if this thing, as this thing keeps going and growing, like, we should see Like if you think you're gonna roll faster than Moises, or you're just gonna skip until he finishes, like let's see who's rolling faster, you or Moises over here. And we might get to the point where we're on video and you can just see us on there, and I think we will eventually.
I will say this though: if you're trying to race, we gotta have the same cush, the same everything to make an even and fair fight. Cause if you pull up to a blunt rolling competition with the weed already broken down, you're a cheater.
It
You're a
ain't the
cheater.
same.
You're a cheater.
Why?
Because if you're gonna have a blunt rolling competition, that involves breaking down the kush and breaking down the sweet.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I saw it. I wasn't really saying like their cheating ass should have like, excuse me, their cheating ass should be like have everything just, you know, planned out already. Like,
I'm
nah.
talking to the audience right here. If you're gonna try to race me and rolling this blunt, we gonna have the same type of kush, the same everything, and we gonna start from the very beginning.
We're gonna do
And
it
then we
live
gonna
on
see.
Instagram.
I mean, yeah, we might just have to, cause I'm not saying I'm fast, cause I hate rolling, but I do it anyways.
Nah, I mean, he's not lying, but he's kind of telling the truth because this man will never want to roll. He's like, anytime or like any other time, or like, I ask him or anybody else is here, is like, hey, bro, you trying to smoke? And he's like, yeah, if you rolling. I'm like, what? Come on, bro.
Hey, I will say though, I'm not even gonna toot my own horn here, but out of the whole little squad that we got, I'm like at least second best at rolling these blunts. At least.
I mean, I ain't
If
gonna
not
deny
first,
that.
homie.
I mean, I'm not the best roller, but I mean, come on, bro.
But the thing is, like, our friends, they're pretty good at rolling. Like, even though, like, from our outside of our circle, we have some good friends that they know how to roll really, really well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm, like, on the same tier as them. But what's up? Let's have this competition.
Let's get it. See who can roll the best blunt at the
And
fastest
all
rate.
I know is ain't nobody can beat Tupac. Because I don't know if anyone else seen that video of this man just breaking down his kush and then rolling it in, like, 2 seconds.
It was just like what's it called? In the back of his head after that, pretty much.
Yeah, he the sweet was broken down and he just literally just grabbed his weed, just broke it down onto the sweet and then just rolled it like immediately. Like after I saw that video, I was like, yo, I want to learn how to do that.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, bro, you should look it up and watch it because it's just so fast. Cause you just watch and you're like, bro, this video was literally like 20 seconds.
Tupac. So I just Google or YouTube Tupac rolling a blunt.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that will pull up the video.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's dope. I need to get to that point of rolling. I'm a pretty mediocre roller, I can roll it. If you ask me to roll it, I'll roll it. Don't expect to have a good blunt, but we're going to smoke it at the end, Hopefully if I don't rip it. Which for some reason has been happening for like a while, but I mean, that could be the sweets or that could be me. I'm going to say it's the sweets. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, when it comes to rolling, I'm about a 5.
A 5 out of a 10 or a 5 out of a 5?
5 out of a 10.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have my times where it can come up to like a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
But most of the times, I'd probably rate it like a 5, maybe a 6 if I want to really toot my horn, because a 5 is like, well, I mean, I would say maybe more like a 6, because a 6 is like more passable. Like you would hit that, and then like a 5 is like, yeah, I guess I'll hit that, like it's passable, barely.
Barely.
But the 6 is like, yeah, I mean, it's already here, so I might as well just.
No, that's the 5. The 5 is like, I guess I'm getting a little bit of a hit.
I guess.
But that's the thing with the 5. If you're rolling a 5 blunt, you're just like, it's a hit or miss. It's either gonna hit and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad, or it's not gonna hit. You're gonna be like, damn, I should have rolled the blunt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
is he low key saying something?
I'm low key saying something. So if you out there listening and you roll 5s, I'm sorry, man. You gotta just keep rolling until you get better. That's the only way you're really gonna get better at rolling.
Or let your homies that know how to roll it.
Or that, yeah, yeah.
That's what I've been doing. Most of the time, at least.
I mean, that's what I do too. Cause like I said, I don't like rolling, man, but I'll do it if I have to.
Yeah, I feel it, man. It really just be like that sometimes. I'm trying to
all the time.
smoke this.
I'm almost done. Hold on.
Honestly, guys, like I remember when we were younger. Like right now, especially because it's legal, like in Washington State. Um, it's a lot easier to and quicker to get it. But I just remember like when we were younger, like it's like 10 o'clock right now. Like at 10 o'clock is when we would be meeting up with our friends when we were younger, like when we first started smoking.
When we first started session,
Yeah, we would meet up at 10 o'clock. Okay, 10 o'clock meet up with our friends. Then like spend like an hour just talking or whatever, just chilling, or trying to find somebody to call up, thinking about somebody to call up, and then by 11:30, we're hitting those people up, and then hopefully by like 12:30, they've hit us up. And sometimes this would be school nights and or whatever, or even a work night, and we were dead ass not have any kush ready, or have picked up by 12, and then by like 12:30, 12:40, we're home, you know, rolling it up. By 1 o'clock, we're smoking it up.
sparking, just getting ready to
And
start.
that's just when we were younger. We were just taking forever to hit it up, and now it's just like we want it,
So
just go to the
convenient.
store and get it.
It's convenient, man. And there's pros and cons to having dispensaries and whatnot, but pros, I mean, you can just get it any day. They're open. You can find some that are open up until like 12.
Mm-hmm.
But the con is that I don't know, just the price is a little bit higher. It's just because everyone wants it and whatnot, and especially right now during quarantine, since people were just stuck at home, they rose the prices up just because people were buying so much of it. So I mean, you got your pros, you got your cons. At the end of the day, I'm glad we live in Washington, even though I'm trying to skedaddle from Washington because
Yeah.
I love the rain and everything, but it's just not for me.
Hey, you think that well, when I was like in the dispensary, I was looking at the people, and I like just even thinking about like any other dispensary that I've been to, like a lot of people that work there, they all kind of seem like the same type of people. Like they're all really like they all have like the same type of style. Like today I saw this guy who was like he wasn't my cashier today, but he kind of looked like a Post Malone guy, like at the dispensary. And I was even just thinking in my head, I was like honestly, if this guy's gonna cash me out, I'm about to be like, hey bro, you kind of remind me of Post Malone. But that's
Okay.
kind of like to take it like to make of a sense, like him looking like Post Malone is kind of like what people at those dispensaries or stores kind of like give me a vibe of, like they don't really look homeless, but they look like these people that be smoking it up, and they just have like this style, especially with the girls too. Like the girls be wearing like these dark colored shirts, and they look like the girls who would like be dressed as emo and wouldn't they would try to have that emo hair but wouldn't really be emo. They just had the fashion but couldn't pull it all off together.
Yeah, I can see that. Let me actually say something about that because I was actually. You went to Lucid, right?
Yeah.
So I was at Lucid maybe a week or two ago,
Yeah.
and one thought that I had while I was waiting in line, ready to get checked out and whatnot, was that no offense, but there's a lot of white people working in the cannabis industry, while at the same time we have all these black and brown people in jail for the same reason, and it's just I don't know. It was just like a
Yeah.
slap in the face that
Yeah.
we have all these people incarcerated while we have all these other white people because that's what they are.
Yeah.
They're a whole bunch of white people that work at mostly at these dispensaries. Every once in a while.
Bro, I didn't want to say that, but now that you said it,
Nah, it is.
yes.
It's true. Like out of let's say you go into a dispensary, and obviously it's different for each one, but from the ones that I've been to,
Yep.
for every 5 white people, there's one colored person.
Yep.
And I think they just do that to hire for the diversity, culture, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it was just weird because I was just standing in that line. I was just watching all these people,
Yep.
white people, just living the dream. Because I'm sure that's like a dream that they're like, oh, I've always wanted to do this, and now
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah.
legally do it. But it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
but we still have all these incarcerated black and brown brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
release them, man. This stuff is legal. At least release the people that are incarcerated in legal states,
Yeah.
or bring up their files. Like their files should be prioritized, so then that way they can either go back into the system of like, okay, cool, we looked through it. Now that it's legal, you had X amount, you're
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they get you with like 500 pounds or whatever, then you're gonna be in jail. It's still federally illegal, which is kind of dumb, but that kind of makes sense if they're like, okay, we're gonna hold off on this one. But if they caught you with like an ounce
Yeah.
and you're doing life for that, like that's bullshit, man. Free those people, man.
Yep. Free the people, man. That's what. But that's what I was like, thinking of today because when I was at the dispensary, I was like, bro, literally all the people that are the cashiers are white.
Hmm.
And then like that just got me thinking too. I was like, wait, you know what's crazy about this? That like people who were dealing drugs like back then or even now are like people of color. And those people, how you were just saying, were being incarcerated or getting like caught up, and now these white people are working basically the same job but like legally now because it's legal, at least in this state. And it's crazy because it's kind of like what I was seeing is like a power movement for them because they were just it was just kind of like for me it was just kind of showing me like like these white people really just be stealing whatever they can from us, and then like once they've had the power to like like now that it's legal, now that they can do that, then they put themselves in that power of being able to control it, you know.
I do know, but I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say after that. It's a hard topic because it favors one race over the other, even if people don't want to admit it. And it sucks to say that, but that is the country that we live in as of right now. And it doesn't just go for like drugs or just cannabis. It goes for other things, like they, we can go into like immigration, we can go into homelessness. Like there's just so many things that has favored white people over anybody else. So, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
That's crazy. And then just to like think about it, like with the whole Oregon thing, where they're like now, you know, decriminalizing any kind of like small amounts of like these drugs. Like, I don't know, like what is it that they're really gonna do with all that kind of stuff? Because like, what I keep thinking is like, are we gonna see more people being involved with these drugs, or are we gonna see less people being involved now that they can, have it?
Well, I think the thing with Oregon is that the whole, I'm assuming, end game from what everything I've read and everything is that they want to help people with addiction. Okay, at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, addiction is basically a mental illness,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and luckily, with the help of cannabis revenue, they're able to decriminalize all these other drugs. So then that way, if people get caught up with a small decent amount, they're able to get the help they need so that they can get off those certain drugs. Um, so I really hope, and I don't think that a lot more people are gonna just start doing all these drugs just because they can. I think it's gonna be based off of helping the people that are addicted to certain drugs, and it's gonna basically rehabilitate them and just put them back into society and just you know become not the
Yeah.
work like I want obviously working class, but the working class we're being slave guys. I don't know what else to tell you. The
We're
working class is a
slaves.
slave class because literally like tax the freaking rich, man. Tax the rich. Why am I getting taxed more when the rich are getting taxed less? Like it makes no sense. Make it
Yeah.
make sense, man.
That's, I don't know. Like the whole like that part is just crazy how like I don't really understand like how the whole taxing the rich thing is like, how that even works sometimes because I remember I was just reading something just like randomly where it was saying like, it might have been from like a video that I seen and it was just saying if someone, say me and one other rich person, like I make like 100,000 and then this other person makes like $1 million, but like the limit or whatever for like getting taxed ends at 100,000. Like we're getting charged 6%. So from my from my 100,000, I'm getting charged six. Like I'm paying 6% of my taxes from there, and then at the same rate because it doesn't go any higher than $1 million. they're only getting 6% out of their $1 million.
Okay. Well, I think what that is, it's I don't like at the same thing. I don't really know all the
Yeah.
details about how we're gonna tax the, or how could we potentially tax the rich and just make it so it works for the working class and just the people.
Well, the thing is, they need to make brackets for those levels because
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
it's because I feel like the government or people just don't know how to do it, and I think like the only, well, I mean, just I don't really think, but just from my opinion right now, from seeing that, is like the only thing we can really do is just make a bracket for those people that make $1 million. Like once you start making over $1 million, then you're gonna start paying blank amount of percent out of your $1 million. It needs to be either equivalent to what somebody is paying from the 100K.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the bracket thing is obviously well, maybe not obviously, but it's a good choice. It's a good um, just way we can kind of start off it.
Just
Don't we
like
already have brackets though?
I mean, we must not because I mean like that like how I was saying like that thing only goes to like 100K, and then there's not really anything or that I know of. I don't know any research. This is just me going off of whatever I saw and read online. So do your own research, guys, because we might be wrong. Um,
We just talking. Go do your research.
yeah, but like from what I'm assuming, what I'm thinking, like that I've seen is that the bracket probably only goes to like a certain amount of like money that you make per year, and after that, like once you pass that one, like that last bracket that they have, then that's when you just get charged whatever someone's making. Even thank God him. Even if they're making like you know $900,000 less than you, $900,000 more than you, you're both gonna get charged the same amount on your taxes, and you're gonna pay the same amount. And I don't know. That's how people be skipping out on money.
Ooh, this blunt just hit back. But, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to do more research on that because I'm interested. I'm interested to see how all that works.
You know what I was just thinking too? How some rich people also avoid paying taxes, especially after like what I've seen about like how big companies avoid paying taxes, like by doing like the big charities.
Mm-hmm. And claiming debt.
Yeah, so I feel like these famous people too be doing the same thing. Like in order for them to avoid taxes, like they be running charities, and the charity is for like a cause, okay? Just like any other thing. And so the cause is for like, cancer or some kind of awareness, whatever's going on. And even though like the charity, the money is going towards that charity, that cause, that whatever they're doing is under their name.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're donating that money, even though if that money is going towards that thing, that money is under their name, even though they had hundreds of thousands of people who
Mm-hmm.
gave in $10 and stuff like that. And that's how these rich people and famous people are avoiding all this kind of like getting taxed off of things like that.
Interesting.
And I even think like YouTubers are doing that because I mean that I know of because I watched this other podcast on H3H3, and they were doing like a little segment about this family called the Ace family, and the Ace family did something like that where they said they were going to be doing a charity event like at a Staples Center, and they did do that, and then they let me hit this button real quick, guys. Hang on. But they did that, and then they donated the money, or no, them and Chris Brown said they were gonna donate 100K, not each, just 100K together. So they weren't gonna be 100K, 100K. It's gonna be 50-50. And so that's what they ended up doing, and then all that money also that they got was donated. Not all of it, because then I guess like a few days later they dropped a video saying they bought a whole new mansion, like a whole new big ass house. And then on that video, that other podcast I was watching from H3H3, they were kind of like saying, like how does that work out? How do you just do this charity event and then like a few days later drop that you're buying this like $1 million house, like, stuff like that. Like, what they were thinking is like, they might have just used that money
These
that they
scammers.
made and like scammed the people and
Yeah.
bought that house. Use that as a down payment to buy the house. I don't know. It's crazy when you think about money like that,
Yeah.
or just even just like what's really going on behind the scenes and just anything like politics and just social media and all the media. Like, I don't know.
Maybe we need to begin, or we need to start at like going through the fine prints of the laws and regulations when it comes to taxes, and literally find every loophole that the rich use to help them out, and rewrite it so they're not like able to then use that loophole. Maybe that's the beginning. That's the start. We need.
I
We might
like,
have to just rewrite the
yeah,
whole Constitution. Honestly.
got it. I like that, but I feel like even if you find that loophole and stop the loophole and you create something to stop it, that you'll still create another loophole.
Oh no, we gonna have to revise this new paper about 100 million times. Think about it. We're gonna do this. Not even the government. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna hire 100 people to work on this. So one person's gonna start it off. He's gonna pass it off. He's gonna edit it.
Yeah.
Give it to another person. They're gonna edit it, and then there's just gonna each person's gonna their job is to find the loophole
Yeah.
in this, and then it's just gonna go on and go on until we get to the last person, and then that last person is gonna read the whole thing
Yeah. Yeah.
and then see if they can find any loopholes, and if they don't, then we might have succeeded.
That sounds like a that sounds like a long ass plan, but I mean, if it's gonna
one
work,
step at a time.
one step at a time. He means 100. Because there's gonna be
I need 100 people, so I need 200 steps for each one.
I was thinking that, I mean, that might work. I don't see any other way. Like the way that I was kind of thinking of, like how they can go about it, is like, I don't know, man. This shit is hitting.
Yeah. Hey, but I will say this.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that I would have done some research on this, because now my next question was going to be, like, what about the countries that essentially kind of already do this, and then, they have, like, Medicare for all, they tax the rich pretty well, and then they fund everything properly. Like,
Yeah.
there's countries out there that are already doing this, so
Yep.
why America, land of the great, is not doing something as, to me, basic as this? It's not like, I don't know, we're trying to like really ask for anything that's like huge. Like Medicare for all should just be a thing.
Yeah. I think it just comes from like Americans being American and they just don't want to do things the way other people are doing it because, I mean, pay attention to right now what this guy Donald Trump did not do anything that all these other countries were doing for COVID, like keeping everybody safe, doing a real lockdown, closing everything down how it probably should have been done. And even just like from past presidents, I don't know if any other president, I mean, any other president would have probably handled it differently, but I feel like America probably still would have been one of those countries that were still, not doing everything that everybody else was doing, and that's just because it's America, and people don't want to be like other ones. They want to just be America, That's why we don't follow the metric system. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's just that point. Like, it makes sense. I do too. I think about that. Like, why isn't America? Why wouldn't America be in a place where we're in, like, at least top, or one of the top countries where we have all these free Medicaid, free 2 years of college, if that makes sense. Just things like that. That just basic needs that people would need. Like, why isn't America having that?
Because they some greedy motherfuckers. That's right. I said it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's probably is what it is. Like, they're just greedy about, like, and it's really probably like what it is. America's just greedy like that.
Well, damn. Yeah.
Honestly, guys, this thing is like hitting work. I mean, I don't know. How are you feeling?
I'm high now.
I'm high now. I'm high now. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
You know, it'd be cool
Hmm.
if one day we have Kendrick Lamar on the show,
Ooh.
and then he does it.
I'm high now.
Bro, it's over.
Do the thing.
I have made it when that happens. You
Do-
hear this, Kendrick Lamar? All you have to do is show up, hit this blunt, and say, "I'm high now."
Come
and
on
then,
the show,
and I
Kendrick.
know I made it.
This is the first episode,
Let me know when you're free.
but you gonna be here.
Email us your schedule, and we'll fly you out
We're
in
gonna
like 2 years.
what's that word like when you really like focus on something and you want it to like show up?
Like manifest?
Yeah, we're gonna manifest them.
I'm gonna
on the
manifest
show.
you here, bro. I hope you're ready to teleport.
Manifest. Get here now.
So when I say we gonna fly you out, really we gonna teleport you over here. Manifest you, and you just gonna wake up in the studio
Yeah.
while we recording.
Yeah. I fuck with that. I can see him here. He talking with us. We might just be even chilling in this same place. You know, he gonna be down for that shit.
Hey man, if I got to talk to this man, I feel like I would like go crazy because just starting off like you know
Yeah.
like K dot like immediately. Let's start with these questions. I'm gonna basically talk his whole discography with him until we get to like
Yeah.
Untitled, and then Untitled 5. If y'all haven't heard it, that's top 5 songs on my list. Top 5 songs. So it's like
Okay.
that song. Every time it plays, gotta bump it. I gotta focus. Like if you listen to it, you know what I'm talking about.
He knows.
He
I
knows.
know.
They know. If you know, you know.
Boys out here putting us on music
I am.
that we
man.
don't even know about.
I
I'm gonna have
mean,
to go listen to it. I don't even think I've listened to it yet.
You
bro.
have. I played it. I played it a good amount of times.
Well, you're probably playing it, but I'm probably not listening.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yes, bro. Listen to this. Just the instrumentals on it. The instruments. Well, yeah, the instrumental, but the instruments, just cut. It's just everything, bro. It's just you listen because it changes so much. And this was like leftovers from To Pimp words are hard. To Pimp a Butterfly. So it's leftovers from that, which is just you try to like just imagine where in the album would he have put it, where it would have made sense with the album is because crazy thing about it is that it would have fit regardless. Maybe besides like 1 or 2, because 1 or 2 were like
Yeah.
not even like they were like a fifth done.
Yeah.
Or so, like a third, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like it would fit.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go listen to it. I'm gonna have to go put it on my playlist. I might have to listen to it while I'm working. You know. Just be chilling. To
I mean,
it.
it's yeah, you should. It's short. It's maybe like 30 minutes, but it's still good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect it to last all day, but yep.
There's just some long albums out there.
It'll just be taking forever.
No, that's just how they made it. Like the artist just says, "I'm gonna put these collection of songs together,"
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, it just turned out to be an hour and a half long, from start to finish. Let me tell everyone out there: if you are not listening to albums from start to finish, not only from your favorite artists, but just other artists, you're not really listening to music.
Okay.
You're just hearing music every here and there. You know, you just want to play a song. I'm gonna hear the song.
Yeah.
But if you want to listen to music and songs, bro, you have to like, if it's a song, obviously you're gonna just sit down and listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, just try to get the whole emotion in the show about like what they're trying to portray as an artist to the audience with that one song. But if you have an album, it just changes the game. Okay.
Yeah.
If from the start to finish, there's artists that out here telling stories.
Yeah.
Like from music, bro. You're over here listening and you have a whole like movie playing in your head.
I've been knowing that, bro. Some of the music I've been listening to, yeah, I can see that.
So
I feel like,
make sure you're listening to full albums, not just songs.
yeah, I can agree with that. I can fuck with that. Like, sometimes though, when I'm listening to music or when I find like an artist or a new song from an artist I'm already listening to, like, you know, it might be like a new album they just dropped and it's just like, you know, the single for that album so far. And I'm like, okay, I fuck with this. And then I listen to like the album And sometimes, like, the single was the only good thing on the album. And sometimes I'm like, that's sometimes what stops me from listening to full albums other times, because I'm just like, you know what? This person did it like this, so maybe this person's always gonna be like gonna maybe do the same. But I mean, sometimes it's different, sometimes it's not.
I go into music with my mind opened, and that's it. Even regard unless it's like an artist where you kind of expect already what you're gonna expect, but if it's new music, then I'm just like, ooh, this sounds interesting or it looks interesting. I'm just gonna be like, let's just play it, hope for the best. Let's hope I like it, and then that is it. I like it or I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like especially with me with music, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like just I've told you this before, but sometimes I'm just like too picky about it. Cause for me, the music just really has to get me some kind of like. Sometimes like the music just needs to like make my hair stand up on my arm. Like that's kind of like what I want. Cause I'm like, damn, this thing made my hair stand up. Like this thing must be like the tune or whatever they got going on here must like be good. And that's usually like what happens to me. And I'm like, I fuck with this. I'll listen to this shit. And a lot of times it just needs to be something like chill and vibey type of thing, because that's kind of like what I like. And a lot of times it's just hard to either, for me at least, to go out of that. Nah, I'm cool, bro. You can close that bitch. Wu Tang it.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's just me. There's just so many ways that people go about music.
Yeah, I can see that. I love music, so I listen to everything and anything.
Yeah.
So it's fun when you just like, oh, like let me put on this like hip hop album, right? And then you finish it and you're like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling some R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Put an R&B album on, and then after that, you're like, you know what? Some like pop rock.
Yeah.
That sounds fire right now. Put that on. Ooh. I remember because I had the Boys Like Girls album.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? It was the one with the orange uh, cover.
Okay.
I think it's Love Struck. Nah, I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up. But that album was so good when I was in middle school. I used to literally play it while I was cleaning all
Love
the
Drunk?
time. I think so. Yeah, I think it was Love Drunk. More than likely, it was Love
I know
Drunk.
they
'Cause
had a song
single for
called
it. Yeah.
they had a song called Love Drunk, so I believe it. I used to listen to that shit. Honestly, when I was younger, I didn't really listen to music like that. Like I think like the first real music I started listening to, bro, I swear you not, that I really liked was the music that the wrestlers would come out of. I'd be like,
WWE.
damn, yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I like the WWE intro. I like the Rey Mysterio intro song. I want to listen to that. I like the whoever the hell had a John Cena intro or anything like that. Like those are like the first songs that I really started listening to, and I was like, you know what? I like this. And then from there, I kind of just like realized I was like, wait, I feel like I like rock music. So then, because that's usually like what they had like was rock coming out. So then I started listening to more rock music, and that's kind of like what put me on the rock side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I started listening to music, just listening to wrestlers' music.
Yeah. Listen to the intros.
Yeah.
What's funny is that around that time, on MySpace, you were able to put like your favorite songs and whatnot, or make a playlist.
Yeah.
So I did that, and
Yeah.
all I did was made a playlist with all the wrestlers' intros to it, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was playing with my wrestling dolls, every time a character came in,
Yeah.
they put that on real quick. Boom.
Take that bitch
Hey.
out.
Stop it. Yeah, we better fight.
Yeah, that's dope. That's hella fun. I never thought about it like that. That's hella awesome.
Yeah, man. Like, music is just chef's kiss.
Bring your.
It was funny because there was this one time
Yeah.
where I was just playing with the dolls,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing that same thing. I said dolls because they're actual dolls. That's also a thought. Wrestling toys or dolls, guys. So if there are any
figures?
machismo words are hard, y'all. Machismo ass dudes listening, and you buy your son some wrestling action figures. Guess what, boy? He playing with dolls.
Those are dolls.
So don't get mad if he pull up a
Ooh.
Barbie and say, "Hey, this is Shawn Michaels' girl." Okay, boy. If he's playing with those wrestling dolls, he can play with that Barbie doll.
So then You think like the word action figure? I mean, now that I think about it, I think like an action figure would just be something you would have for display then. Or what do you think about that?
I mean, for me, action figure is just the toy of a wrestling doll.
Yeah.
Or, well, action figure is more like broad, where it's like it could be like a soldier, it could be like a GI Joe,
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
really any like
Well, when I was thinking like action
Buzz
figure,
Lightyear.
I was thinking of like maybe like when you go to those comic book stores or anime stores that have like those really expensive like models of like a anime character or a comic book character, and they cost you like $80, and it's just for you to place it somewhere in your house or place it in a case. Like that's kind of maybe what I would think like an action figure is, or just like when I don't know, like when they sell like a box and it's just like somewhere for you to put it, not really to play with or meant to play with or taken out, like something like a collectible type of thing, you know?
I see what you mean. Like, you know how they
Yeah,
sell those like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto like toy sculptures almost.
yeah,
Like that would
yeah,
be an action figure.
yeah.
Okay,
I
I can
mean,
see that.
yeah, I mean that's what makes sense to me, but who knows? People might see it in a like different way.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
now when you say dolls, yeah, you playing with dolls.
yeah. But going back to my story before, I brought that up was that. So I was playing with my toy, my wrestling dolls, right? And then I was doing the music thing, and then my grandpa, you remember my grandpa, big old dude, just comes by and just stands behind me and just looks at me and goes,
Yeah.
super like he always had the mean monkey face, so he had just the mean monkey face. I look up and I'm just like, yes, and he just it's time to go to bed. Turn that off. Like he was not having that I was playing with these toys, right? And so then I just looked at him and was like, okay, but can I play for like 20 more minutes? Like, I did not care about if like, everybody was always like scared of him because he's that, he's the fucking rock of the family or
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
old dude. And then I was just like, I know you don't want me to play with these. And since I had the music on,
Mhm.
it just looked more silly to him.
Mhm.
He was just like, boy, you could be working, like he's this old school Mexican that grew up in Mexico,
Uh-huh.
like he's just trying to work. So he's just looking
Yeah.
at me like, when I was your age,
I was at
I had
work.
3 jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, okay, cool, you go ahead and do you, Grandpa.
He said, "Well, I'm your age and I don't got a job."
Yeah. That's why you brought me to America.
Yeah. That's funny. That's how old were you right there? Like maybe like 10?
Nah, bro, I was in like middle school, so
Oh, middle school?
yeah, because that was the ending of like when I like.
He in middle school playing with dolls.
Let me explain the damn story, but okay, so check this out. So when I moved to Graham County in Washington State,
Yep.
it was going into 6th grade. Okay, so all of 6th grade, I was still going to an elementary school because they didn't have middle school and high school. They had junior high and high school.
Mm-hmm.
3 and 3, 3 grades, 3 grades.
Yeah.
So to me, it still felt like I was a little kid when I was
Yeah.
in elementary school, even though I was in middle school.
Uh-huh.
So we was still going hard with the WWE. I didn't stop watching until like 2008.
Okay.
That was around like 2006, 2007 is when, I was playing with the dolls.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, 7 or 8, one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I was playing dolls at that age.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you play dolls at that age. I mean, do you, bro? You a child. Well, I mean, you're a teenager now, so I mean,
Yeah.
time to get some bitches.
That makes sense.
Just kidding. Don't get girls.
Hey, you know what I was just thinking, bro? Like, this is totally off from your story, but I was just like, because I just remembered that you said this, Kush said spicy.
Yeah.
Like, you think the reason why you keep clearing your throat is because it was too spicy or what?
Maybe. I never thought about it like that.
I was just thinking, I was like, did I feel any spiciness? I was
Nah.
like, but I'm then kind of, but I mean, not that I, like, it wasn't spicy, but I was kind of thinking, it's like, my tongue kind of feels tingly. But I don't know if that's just me or you also.
What do you mean by tingly though? Like, I know tingling, but like, does it feel like it's numb or does it feel like?
Not numb, but like maybe if I had like a hint of some kind of spice, but like it was like already ending, or maybe it was just like really, really tiny.
Yeah. I don't know. My tongue feels normal, but
Maybe it's
might,
just me.
it might just be you.
It's the placebo effect.
I'm a little bit warm, even though we have the window open. But
Yeah.
by the way, I freaking okay. I don't hate winter, but when me and winter just we got some beef, okay?
Yeah.
Cause it's freezing, y'all.
I mean,
Well, it's not freezing yet, but it's cold.
yeah. I mean, just like being here so long, I've kind of just been. I feel like I've still been used to the winter. Like I don't. I mean, I hate it because it's cold, but I'm just so used to it too that I just remember. And I'm just like, well, it's we live in Washington is like this at the same time. But like, if I could, I would choose to just be sunny, sunny and warm, but not like too warm, but just like a decent amount. But like the cold time, I kind of fuck with it the most just because that's the time where I can just bring out my good stuff, like my good sweaters and all my outfits are made for the winter, guys. Like 90% of my closet, 95, maybe 90 to 95% of my closet is all sweaters and jackets just for the winter for me to stay warm. And that's literally what I wear just to make myself like I get the nicest sweaters, the nicest jackets in my opinion at least that I like to show off and I'm just like these are cool and I want to wear these. But yeah.
I mean, yeah. I when it comes to jackets, I don't really have a lot of jackets. I'm more of a hoodie and sweater kind of dude.
Yeah.
So you definitely gonna see me with like 3 hoodies, But then, not recently, but like 2 years ago when I was working at Columbia,
Yeah.
the clothing store, I got into some nice jackets, and then since then I've just been coming up on some jackets that I haven't worn yet. I have one that my friend Dora gave me from like a clothing brand. I think I want to say Korea.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. But it's just super nice and it's cozy, and I'm waiting to wear that. I haven't worn it yet.
Nice.
But I'm going to.
Ooh. Pretty big jacket, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of chunky.
That's dope. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's the winter time. It really be like that.
That's the winter time. That is Washington. But all right, y'alls. Hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of the Midnight Sesh.
The Midnight Sesh.
Midnight Sesh. I'm Moises.
And I'm motherfucking Slade Draw.
Make sure to join us next week on the next episode. Don't forget to bring your kush. Roll something up if you didn't this time.
Bring your
now
friends.
you know. Bring your friends. Bring your
everybody.
friends.
We want to have
Bring your grandma, your daddy.
Yeah.
I like dogs. Bring your dogs. We were just talking about cats. Bring them cats, man.
And bring y'all bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Peace.
All right, guys. Peace out.